So how did I come up with the brand Last for the Low? Funny story, when I first started doing comedy, I would go to Tommy T's open mic and compete in that. And I think the first time I did it, I came in the top 5 out of 30. Now, wasn't really nothing to gloat about because, and I'm not saying I'm that hard, but a lot of the people out there, they really wasn't comedians. Somebody was doing spoken word. It was just crazy. So it came in the top 5. I didn't think nothing of it. So, and the real reason I did it was because I really just, Bernie Mac is one of my favorite comedians. I never got to see him in person. So one of the things I wanted to do on my bucket list is just see how it feels to be on stage. So came in the top 5, and I'm like, all right, well, that's a fluke, you know. Then I came back 2 months later, but just because it was different, it was new, it was fresh. And then I lost. I came in second. I think I lost to Bing Bing. She knows who she is, but I lost to her. But it was fun, and then after that, I just got the itch, and then just kind of kept going. So I came back a third time a few months later, and I was there, and it was a pretty good crowd, and I didn't make it to the top, whatever. And some guy won, and I know it's politically incorrect to say this, but he was handicapped. It took him about 5 minutes to get off the stage, and he was like, I did it. And then everybody cracked up. But he brought like 30 people with him, so he won. And one of my boys was just pissed off, and he was like, bro, you funny, he funny. We not a thing. I'm like, bro, it's a popularity contest, man. Don't even trip, man. I said, we can do our own thing, put together a comedy show, make people laugh at a lower cost, man. We just have laughs for the low. So that's how I came up with the brand Last for the Low, because we got it for the low. So and that's really how I came up with that brand. Which one is worse, bombing as a preacher or bombing as a comic? And either way is cold, man. Bombing is part of the game. If a comedian tell you that they never bombed, then they might have not got booed, but you bombed before. I'll tell you about 2 instances. I remember preaching, and what a preacher prepares, like sometimes when you prepare to deliver a message, it's like you hear a message, and at the time I was watching TD Jakes, and TD had this message, it was just fire. It was fire. I'm like, ooh, I'm about to use that. And I'm like, so I go to church that Sunday, and I'm like, you know what, I ain't even about to change how he delivered it, because it was so fire. So I got up here and tried to do it exactly the way TD Jakes did it. And like when everybody got excited on the video when I was watching TD Jakes, and I got to that part, crickets. And I'm like, it felt like Nick Cannon on drumline, just but and at that point it was like, you know what, I can't be nobody but me, so I gotta do me. And sometimes the message you hear is for you. Just like sometimes when you hear a joke, you be like, oh, you had to be there, and then you try to retell it and it ain't funny. It's like, yeah, that was one of them moments preaching. Bombing on stage as a comedian, it's funny to me, man. Like I bombed a few times, man. I haven't got booed, but I bombed. So, and it is. You gotta have thick skin and just come back. Now, I will say this. I think, like the one thing, and I said this in my past. I think I'd rather bomb as a comedian than to bomb as a preacher, because if you bomb at a show as a comedian, you can swamp the crowd out. You got another show, get a whole new crowd in there, and figure it out for the next show or the next weekend. But if you bomb as a preacher, you got to come back to the same congregation and be like, and really bring it, because they gonna come back. They gonna let you know. It's like, I hope he studied this week. And you're like, God, you know. So bombing as a preacher is definitely a little bit more worse than bombing as a comedian. So my goals as a comedian / producer, being that I'm from the Bay Area, I strongly feel that the Black representation in comedy isn't being presented on the level that it should be, because it's a ton of talent out here. And I believe, I know a lot of the comedians that's out here, given the right opportunity or the right platform, they would go and ascend higher than where they are now. And right now, nobody's really coming together to work together to try to create that platform. You You got Apollo in, New York. Then you got Chocolate Cities down in LA. You got, all of these other things going on. But in the Bay Area, we so divided that nobody's able to really dominate. So one of my goals is to put together a show that really gives the Bay Area, they shine and basically try to put us on a map. Because I feel like if one of us win, we all win. If one person make it out really and make it mainstream, then you shine a light and you give other people a chance to get get in the limelight that wouldn't ordinarily have that chance before. So that's one of the reasons why I'm putting together this competition with Gary Payton and trying to pitch it to Netflix, Hulu, and all of these things, so to really put Oakland on the map. Because I still feel like in a world full of crab in the barrel people, I still, I haven't given up faith in believing that if one of us win, we all.